much for hopping on today. We have Jen Patel and Kaylee Taylor, right? Okay, my brain is not working. With Team Green Mortgage. Ladies, good morning. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for asking. So I just wanted to get you guys on, talk to you a little bit about who you are, how long you've been in the business, and some of the things that you can do for the agents here in the office. So Jen, how long have you been in the business?
I have actually been in mortgage lending and financial services over 20 years. So don't tell anyone, but that's
I'm like, did you start when you were 10?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It's been a long time.
Good. And you started as a loan officer, or how did you start in the business?
Interesting. I started at the very bottom. I started as a teller at the bank and realized I didn't like counting or doing all the money because I was always a little bit off at the end of the night, a couple cents here, a dollar there, here or there. And they're like, you'd be great on the sales floor. So went over, was a banker, and kind of just worked my way up and through, and just knew that I really loved helping people and fell into mortgages and just love helping people kind of with that. I always say it's a goal of home ownership. And then also just kind of that stability it brings with being, homeowners and just kind of driving that. Yeah.
Very cool. And so on average, how many people do you help a month?
I would say on average, our goal right now is to do 10 to 15, what we call units or families per month. I think in the last year, we've done over 120, I think is the number, Kaylee, I don't remember. And then if we're talking about driving volume, so far this year, we're at about 38 million. So the goal is to finish, I don't think we're gonna get quite to 50, but we're close. But lots and lots of families. I say that I've helped thousands of them in the 20 years that I've done this in different capacities, kind of getting them where they need to go. Yeah.
Absolutely. I say that does not surprise me. Awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Kaylee, what about you? How did you get into doing what you're doing? Because you're not actually a loan officer. You are the branding guru. Yes. So talk to us about that.
Okay, so just to give you a quick background, I do all the business development and marketing for our branch. So I help out all of our loan officers and work closely with all of our agent partners. I've been with the team for about 2.5 years now. I moved to Arizona from Colorado in 2019, and I was a realtor in Denver for several years before I moved down here. So that's kind of my background. And when I moved here, I did not want to start all over again in the real estate market down here. And so I did not want to be a realtor. So I ended up with, just on the other side of the coin, working for a mortgage company, which is my amazing team that I have been with since I started, and I'm never leaving. So what I do is try to help agents with their business planning, what we can do to help them bring in more business and originate business. And so I just help with all of those things.
Well, and that's really cool because you've lived the realtor life.
Yes.
You've been in the cult. Yeah. So you really have a deep understanding of A, what it's going to take for these agents to succeed, and B, the things and products and services that you have and how those will fit into their overall plan. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go back to Jen. Talk to us a little bit about, I guess, what you guys have as far as loans. I know every branch and every mortgage company is a little different. They're a little boutique-y in what they have. I don't know if boutique-y is actually a word, but we're going to go with it. So talk to us about sort of what you offer and the things that it's like, this is what we specialize in that may not be in that box of your perfect lender, if you will, or your perfect buyer, if you will.
Right. We can pretty much do any loan that's out there. I always say that we have good broker programs and different things that we can always connect with if necessary. But our main item is just doing the bread and butter, conventional loans, FHA government loans, those different types of things. That's kind of the majority of what we do because that's kind of the majority of the clients out there. However, we do have specialty programs. I mean, right now, jumbo loan programs are kind of back in full force, especially with the loans and the property values increasing here in Maricopa County and across the board. So I would say that we specialize in that because partly with my experience and with where we're at, a lot of my other agent partners, they're like, well, I'm only going to do, $500,000, $700,000 purchase price. And that's their averages, which is awesome. But for those of us who, kind of need to live in what we call the beer budget world, we've got those normal loans that we're kind of managing through. But we can also do, other specialty programs, bank statements for clients who are self-employed. Take an average on kind of what they're earning there and kind of manage that through. We have asset depletion, which is another one with a client. Maybe they're retired and they're on fixed income, or they have a large lump sum of income or money, I should say, in a bank that they're not using, but they could use. We can turn that into income. For clients who are maybe not working, doctor programs for those who are getting out of school, they just have a ton of student loans that we're trying to mitigate. Renovation loan, where you got a client who's wanting to buy something, who the house isn't perfect, because that's kind of where we're at now. You're kind of landlocked in maybe a Tempe or Glendale or Mesa area, and they're a little bit older. We have a loan that can kind of help them bridge the gap and do some of those closing, some of those repairs before before all of it's completed. So it kind of works like a big escrow holdback. So there's a lot of different things we can do. I always say, if we have something, let's talk about it. And as we work through, and then here with not only coaching program, but with Keller Williams Integrity First, our goal is to continue to do what we call Lender Tuesdays. We'll typically do a 5-week series, or then bring in panels of people to kind of talk about these different things. And the goal is to have more specifics and topics on some of those other specific programs. So if you're having something, you can kind of know about it.
Awesome. Yes. And not only are you super knowledgeable in all of the loan programs, but here's the thing. If there's a new agent that has a question who their buyer might not be using you as a lender, unfortunately, you're always happy to answer questions, and you're a great resource. So yeah. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, even if it's not our client and you have questions, we're always, either a phone call away, or typically in the bullpen right outside of Stephen's office and Vita's office there. Just come by and ask, because, that's kind of our job, to help you, put you in the right direction, and eventually do business with y'all. But, we're here for questions. That's our goal. Yeah, sure.
Well, and I always find that that's the best. I always think that that's the best, because you get a lot of these new agents who their buyers are like, I have a lender. I've got my last mortgage with Wells Fargo. And it's like, okay. And they don't want to have that crucial conversation of, I have this fantastic team of lenders that I work with very closely, as opposed to a Wells Fargo where you're going to go through 4 or 5 or 6 different people that touch the file and nobody's really sure where it is. Whereas they can call you and know exactly what's happening. And they just don't have that knowledge. So it's something we get to train them on. Yay. Super exciting. Super exciting. Thank you so much. Kaylee, talk to me a little bit about some of the cool things that you've got, because you've got an email that actually gets opened. And in this world, that is like the gold, that's like Willy Wonka's golden ticket.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
I think you're referring to HomeBot. Yes. Okay. So HomeBot is one of the greatest tools out there, I think, in my opinion, for real estate agents, mainly for that reason. It has a 60% open rate, which is like the highest open rate for really any type of email marketing. And the reason why that open rate is so high is because HomeBot is a monthly digest that goes out to your client's email every single month. And it's just a snapshot of the current value of their home. Most months you're going to see it increase, especially in this market. So people like to see that because it's specific to their house. It's not about a zip code. It's not about a neighborhood. It's specific to their house. The data is pulled directly from title. So it shows, if I were to sell my house tomorrow, how much money I would be walking away with. It calculates how much money you've paid towards the interest and principal, taking into account how much money you put down on it, how much your loan amount is, and the current value. You can, it shows you how much you could rent it for, how much you could Airbnb it for, how much money you would save over the life of the loan if you were to pay $250 a month extra or $50 a month. You can change stuff in there, and it's all really interactive, super clean and easy to read. And people enjoy the information. So I always like to share a quick story about an agent that for like a year, I was telling her, I'm like, you just put your people in here, just put them in there. The worst they can do is unsubscribe. And honestly, like that's really the worst they can do. No one is gonna, every once in a while you may get someone that says, take me out, but they can easily unsubscribe. Anyway, she put in, you know, like 150 or 200 people, and she immediately had 6 people reach out to her and say, oh my God, this is so awesome. I love this. And then she had 2 people that responded and disputed their home value. And I look at that as a win, because you are now having a conversation that would not have happened otherwise. You will now have the opportunity to, you know, do a CMA for them. So it's just really a conversation starter. They can ask questions in there, and from within your dashboard, you can see who's opening it, how many times they've opened it. So if someone's opened it, you know, 10, 15 times, that might be somebody you would want to reach out to. So anyway, it's one of my favorite tools that we offer. And I think that it's one of the most valuable ones out there. And if anyone wants more information on it, I'm happy to send you an invite. You can do it for free for up to 25 people for as long as you want. All you need is first name, last name, property address, and email address. If you choose to do more than 25, you can have up to 500 people in there. And as long as we're sponsoring you, then we pay for half of the of your account. So it's $50 a month, but we pay 25 and you would pay 25. So not a bad deal for staying in front of your database every single month. And it's automated, it's a set it and forget it, and they're seeing you and you're giving them value.
That's awesome. And a 60% email open rate isn't the average. And again, I know there's probably 15,000 figures out there, but like the average is like less than 5%.
Yeah, it's usually
open. Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I get a gazillion, this house just listed, or this is a thing, or try this video series, or whatever it is. And everybody just delete, 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 delete. So the fact that people will actually open this email is huge.
Yeah.
So talk to us about one other thing that I think is super cool that I'm 99% sure you guys will have it. If not, we'll cut that out. Is the Mojo dialer.
Yep.
Because Mojo is amazing.
Yes. So we do have a Mojo dialer that we allow our agents to use. We have 3 lines really. 2 lines are used for our inside sales agents, and we got a 3rd line for our agent partners to use. You just have to schedule a time with me, but what it is you just upload a list of phone numbers, and it just calls through all those phone numbers for you. I believe it rings about 3 times, and then it'll just drop a voicemail if nobody picks up. And then if someone picks up, you know, you pick up the phone and then you have a live conversation with somebody. So if you are, you know, trying to cover a neighborhood, or you're calling old leads, or literally anything, you just go in there, use it. It's like $100 and some a month typically. So if you know, want to use it and schedule a time, you know, hey, Kaylee, I want to use this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 to 2, let me know. And I just put you in our schedule, and, you know, that is your time slot, and you can use it during that time every week.
That's awesome, because trust me, that is going to be something I will be utilizing here soon.
Yes.
Anything else that you guys can think of that is of value that I'm not bringing up?
One thing that gets lost in translation a lot is because not everybody knows who Fairway is, right? Fairway is a mortgage company.
Yeah.
We don't have our name on a stadium. We're starting to do general commercials. So you might see us now and then on TV, but it's kind of just here and there. They're testing it out and testing the waters, whatnot, you know, but at the end of the day, Fairway, even though, you know, a lot of clients may or may not have heard about us because we're just not all over all the time, we're still the #1 purchase lender as far as volume wise, Maricopa County for sure, and in Arizona, as far as that market share. So even though, you know, we're not as big as like some of the other big boxes, well, I shouldn't say that. We're actually just as big as they are, but we're privately held. So it's a different structure on how we do that. And it's important that that's important because we're very, very nimble at how we do business. Our CEO, Steve Jacobson, I feel like I always drink the Kool-Aid and he keeps feeding it to me and I keep having it because I've been here for 5 years, but I've done this forever. So you can just really do it anywhere. But he was an originator and he was in the chair, and his whole goal is to drive business and make it for the origination team, but still do it in the right way. So, you know, we're really just kind of helping more and more families as we move along. And the whole idea is if, you know, a new agent or a client doesn't necessarily know about us, that doesn't mean listing agents or other people don't hear and understand how good we are. So you couple that with kind of my experience and just kind of the whole idea that we really do care. Now that's how we're getting those people over the hump when you have multiple offers, especially in this market. You know, if you've got 10 offers, let's just say, and we can move up to that top 3 and get in front of the seller because we're that good, I feel like that's where we're at. In fact, just a quick story, we had that exact thing happen. An agent of mine, not with Keller Williams necessarily, but we had a pre-qualification go out, and that listing agent had 3 or 4 different offers that they were accepting, but she saw my name on it. She is a Keller Williams Integrity First agent, and she accepted our offer because she knows just what we're about and how we can make that happen. So it really helped this other client get into this house that she needed. And you know, she, as far as putting that together. So don't discount that part of it, because I think, Ellen, you mentioned this before. Wells doesn't get back to you. They're not going to talk to you on a Friday night or on a Sunday when you're out with your clients or things like that. That's what, beyond all of that, that differentiates, because we're really here to make sure that your businesses can grow. And that's the value that we're trying to add, not only from the loan standpoint to keep you on pace so that you can get your commission checks, right? But then as far as growing your business so that you can keep that pipeline full. So that's where Kaylee and I both kind of work together in tandem to make sure that the agents are kind of really getting where they need to and making the most out of that, you know, at the end of the day. So
absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Well, hey, ladies, always a pleasure to see you. Anybody watching this video, if you need to reach out to either of these lovely ladies, I will put their contact information in the last slide so you can reach out. Brand new agents, anywhere in the Valley, even if you're not with Keller Williams, if you're watching this video, please reach out to these ladies. Do yourself a favor and schedule an appointment to meet with them and learn about all of the ways in which they can help you in your business, because trust me, it will be worth your time. So other than just sitting with them and getting to see their lovely faces. So anyways, ladies, thank you so much for being on the call today. Happy Wednesday.
yeah.